Coming up on this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society, we too find the courage to express strong feelings for Star Fox. It's dangerous to go alone, so the Nintendo Cartridge Society goes with you. Welcome to Nintendo Cartridge Society. My name is Patrick Ellers, and I am joined, as I'm always joined by my co-host, Mark Mitchell. We've got a good show for you today. We're going to be talking about the news from the week, including some updates on Echoes of Wisdom. And then on Thursday, we're starting a Switch franchise report card that, of course, you all have to get signed by your parents and then turn back into us. But Mark, in the meantime, how's it going?
It's going great. I know this isn't a Lost podcast, but it's been a while since I gave an update.
I will allow it.
And so I just want to give an update.
Right.
I have to admit, I stalled out for a little bit.
Yeah.
I was in the doldrums of season 2.
Right.
And it was really hard. Homicide, Life on the Street, which I had never seen before.
Sure, that's on Peacock. Yep.
I got a little bit distracted by Simpsons season 4. But
almost perfect season of television.
But I figured out my solution for getting through it, and that's to jump from where I was, basically like 12, 13, 14 episodes into season 2, and just jumping straight to the middle of season 3.
Whoa!
And that was a good jump start, because the problem I ran into with season 2.
Did you watch at least the very first scene of season 3?
No.
Go back.
I didn't.
Tale of Two Cities. It's a great opening.
I know. It probably is, because they do finales and premieres really well.
Yeah.
But I was grinding through episodes where, because I've seen the series before, I was like, oh, this does not matter. Like, this truly, in the grand scheme of things, like, does not matter.
And certainly these people don't matter.
Yeah,
right.
That's definitely true.
But did you get to Two for the Road in season 2?
Which one is Two for the Road?
That's the one that ends with Michael doing what he does to two of the tailies.
No,
okay.
No, I didn't. I got to the Mr. Echo stuff, and I must have gotten a couple of past that, and then I was like, I can't do this anymore. So I jumped to One of Us, which is where Juliet is brought to the beach and starts living.
Sure, and is that the Juliet flashback episode?
Yeah, okay, it is. It's the Juliet flashback episode. And I remember really liking Juliet.
Yeah.
The first go-through.
Do you not like her now?
It's not that I don't like her.
Uh-huh.
It's that I don't know why I liked her as much as I did. And maybe it's because I really disliked Jack this time through.
Yeah.
Which I didn't feel that way the first time.
Yeah.
And this time I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, no, Jack's a tough hang.
He is a tough hang.
Yeah. I think also if you had watched the beginning of season 3, that you would probably be more affectionate towards.
I know that's but yeah, I couldn't do it, and I feel like it was a good enough place to start. There's some stuff with Michael, now that I'm in season 4, that I had forgotten about.
Yeah,
and
I think that's okay.
But
they just need to know that he leaves the island.
And they give you just enough in that previously on Lost bit for me to be like, okay, I get it.
Right.
Like, I'm connecting all the pieces here.
So you've seen now that Michael episode in season 4, or no?
It's
like Meet Kevin Johnson.
Yeah, I am in the middle of Meet Kevin Johnson right now.
Yeah.
But the other thing that's funny is that in my mind, I knew that with season 4 they start their shorter seasons.
Yes.
But I'm doing air quotes because compared to today's streaming seasons of 8 episodes, they're short. The short seasons of Lost are still 17 episodes long.
Well, and 4 is the shortest of them because it was a writer strike season as well, in addition to being a planned shorter season. But then 5 and 6 are 17, 16, 17 episodes.
And it is shorter compared to the 24 that they were, cranking out before. So I have to admit, even in season 4, there are parts of episodes where I'm just I'm
don't care
island
about
business
this.
where I'm just I'm skipping through this. But I am enjoying, and I guess I won't talk about spoilers much. It's also interesting watching the season 3 finale for the first time since it like I watched. And I didn't watch it when it aired. I think I watched that like on DVD.
Yeah.
But
by then I was watching it as it aired, and the season 3 finale when it like its turn is revealed. I remember that being like an absolute like knock you on your ass moment.
Yes, absolutely. And it's interesting watching it now, knowing what that turn is, because you can admire the magic trick, but it's obviously it's not a fault of the show because they can't. Once you already know what the reveal is, that's not its fault.
Right.
But it is like obviously less effective
of
watching
course,
it, knowing what but there's a lot of stuff after the twist that I like in season 4 that I was like, I have no memory of like Kate's trial. You know what I mean? Like all this other stuff that's happening post twist. So I'm enjoying it, but I'm glad I did the skip.
Okay, all right. Well, however you can do it to get through it, Mark, I support that. This is not an update, but just like a thing in my life that if I don't express it here on the podcast, I won't express it anywhere else on the podcast. So twice this weekend, as I've been coming back to my apartment from I went to a show on Sunday night. I was picking up pizza on a Saturday night. And both these times, as I'm approaching my house, there is a cat in the yard next door.
Oh, this is fun.
And I say hello to the cat, and he follows me up to my apartment.
Now, you're allergic.
I am allergic to cats, yes. So he follows me up. He's got like a collar and a name tag. I call the number on the tag, no answer. So I text. And they write back like, oh yeah, if he's on, and they say the name of the street, then he's fine. He's an outdoor cat. And I was just like, okay. And so this cat, whose name is Quito, just meows at me from outside my front door. 2 nights in a row now he's done this.
Cute.
Yeah.
So it follows you up. You go inside, and it's like, hello.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. And then he's just like, well, I guess I'll sit on your welcome mat, clean myself for a little while.
Cute. You should start giving him treats.
No, I'm not going to give him treats. I'm not welcoming a new cat into my life.
You don't have to let
I'm
him
allergic.
inside. I know, but like outside.
He wants to get inside. It is a charming development, like no question.
Yeah, that's fun.
It's very really funny because he's very talkative. So like he meows a lot. But so this is Quito is now a part of my life. I assume that you will see him the next time you come over.
Yeah, this is exciting.
Yeah. Although one day he will just stop coming because that's the way outdoor cats work.
It's true.
Right?
Well, maybe I'll start giving him treats when I come over to your place.
No, you are not to change this.
I'll hide them under your welcome mat.
I don't like
You'll
it.
You'll never know that they're there. Quito will love me.
Now I'm going to check under the welcome mat. If you would like to support Quito and his ravenous need for treats under my welcome mat, you can go to patreon.com/Nintendo Cartridge Society, where if you are supporting us at the 8-bit or 16-bit levels, you get access to our mini-series that we're putting out once-a-month episodes. We are making our way steadily through NCS Arcade.
Yeah, we just put an episode out for August talking all about Elite Beat Agents on the Nintendo DS, so you can check out that episode now. And if you have any thoughts, feelings, questions, anything on Elite Beat Agents, you should email us.
Or the Japanese versions of the game, Oendan or Oendan 2. We would love to have that sort of information. Email us, Nintendo Cartridge Society at gmail.com. I don't know when we're going to record that. Sometime in the next week and a half or so.
Yeah, but everybody who follows us on Patreon, even at the free level, gets access to those listener feedback episodes that we put out. So you should email us and then subscribe so you can check that out.
Yes, and I would say that even if you have no direct experience with Elite Beat Agents, the episode that we recorded goes wide on the cultural analysis of those specific songs at that specific point in time. So please enjoy. And then the other thing to mention, of course, since we do a different game every month, is that we have selected September's game. Mark, would you like to do the honors?
Yeah, if you feel a chill in the air, that's because September's game is Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow.
Yes.
Recently released on Switch as part of that Castlevania collection that was announced last week.
Yeah, and you and I have not talked about a Castlevania game on this show since Simon's Quest, right?
Oh, geez, yeah, which would have been
4 years ago.
When we did our weird sequels month.
We did weird sequels. Yeah, I guess it was pre-pandemic, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Mark and I obviously have a lot of Castlevania-ing to catch up on, so look forward to that. Also, if you're not in our Discord, you should be. Email us. Again, it's Nintendo Cartridge Society at gmail.com. We will send you an invitation. You can jump right in. We talk about Nintendo stuff. And then just reminders of stuff. My Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle source book, issues 1 through 3, are in comic book stores right now. September 11th is when issue 4 comes out. And then I was on Video Games, a Comedy Show, last week and the week before talking about Japanese games. Last week it was Japanese games that have recently been localized after being not available for a long time. And then the episode that came out this week was all about games that are still yet to be localized. So, hey, if you think I talked a little bit about Donkey Konga 3, yeah, it's in there. Mark, have you ever heard the theme song for Donkey Konga 3?
No.
Then you need to listen to this episode of Video Games, a Comedy Show, because we play it there, and it is awful. Nothing to debug this week because we're so good. Mark, let's get into what we've been playing this week. Emio, that smiling man.
Yep.
We are going to do a deeper dive kind of episode on Emio in a couple weeks when we've had the chance to play through it and can really do like a spoiler-filled reaction to everything that happens in the story. But Mark, early impressions.
Yeah, so I have not played that far. I didn't have that much of an opportunity to play this week, so I'm not even through where the demo dropped off, like the first 3 chapters.
Which is it a spoiler to say how many chapters are in the game? Maybe it is.
Sure, we won't. We'll save.
Yes.
We'll save it. If you're wondering, how many chapters? Look forward to that episode in a couple of weeks. But so I am enjoying it a lot but I'm not that far into it. And so I'm sure that there's
Have you done the bus stop thing yet?
No, okay. Although I saw people talking about it in the Discord.
Yes, this game has some delightfully unhinged scenes, including one where you are waiting for a bus at a bus stop in the middle of nowhere. There's no one to interact with and nothing to investigate, and you just sort of sit there while your dude goes crazy waiting to be picked up. It's awesome.
And so it has been a few years since I played the remakes of the Famicom Detective Club series, but my impression of this is that it looks nicer than those games did, and the characters have more, everything has a
way more expression.
Animation.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think the soundtrack is really great. I think we talked about a little bit on the show that some of the impressions that I was reading online coming out of the demo were that it was still a little bit esoteric and
it is, but not in a way that I don't find myself hitting barriers.
Well, and definitely
in the same way that I did in the first two.
Exactly, and that's, again, I'm early, so maybe there's some crazy puzzle like there is in Missing Air where I'm just banging my head against the wall trying to figure out, I'm at this cliff and can't figure out, what on earth you want.
Right.
Game, what do you want me to do?
Leave and come back 4 times.
But in this one, there are times where it's okay, it's not immediately apparent what I'm supposed to do, but the game I feel is good at giving you a wink and a nudge.
Yes.
Well,
so this is something that I wanted to talk about because I think when you and I were doing our sort of primer, here's what Famicom Detective Club is, we didn't talk too much about how to actually play these games. And I think they are a little bit counterintuitive in that way because you think of it like a detective game where you're all I need to do is select the right options in the right order to reveal the next piece of information. And that's not really the way this works. You're going to do everything in an effort to get it to move on to the next thing. You're not going to shortcut it, right? There aren't enough options where if you're I can tell he's nervous about this thing, I'm going to keep asking about it. You need to sometimes stop and examine their face or use the think option. Think is really good for the game giving you hints about what to do next, but also sometimes it is a necessary step that it will not open more options for conversation until you think. So a couple things to always keep in mind if you're wait a minute, I can't progress. Ask about the same things over and over again until you get messages that are a single screen long and they're repeating themselves. And then even after that, if you've moved on to ask about other things or progressed the conversation in any other method, those old conversation topics back up for grabs. So like, just be prepared to like cycle through all of those. Use think liberally, and anytime like someone is nervous about something or excited or there's like an emotion that you're supposed to be perceiving, examine them, either on their face or somewhere on their body, because sometimes they will notice you looking at them, or they will, like whatever. It'll spur some new bit of conversation. And it's really just a persistence is victory in the game. The game does not ever lead you into a fail state, at least as far as I've played. And the previous ones didn't either. It won't let you travel to the next destination until you've gotten all the information that you need. Just be patient. Just like keep selecting things until the game lets you go.
And when you say like the information that you need, it's really like the information that the game wants to provide you for the story to progress. Because the other thing about these games is that other than like the end of the missing air turns into like a first person dungeon crawler type thing, for the most part, you're just experiencing the story.
Yeah.
Like it's not like a point and click adventure game where you're gathering evidence and you're going to use, like the key that you found on the ground here to plug into, a door here, unless the story guides you to do that. Like the game isn't out to get you. It's not like you don't have to worry about like trying to outthink the game. It's really just about experiencing the story and living in the world.
Yes.
And sometimes if you look at something or try something, you'll get like a funny response and all of that, but it's not like a point and click adventure game or anything like that.
Right. Well, and one thing that Emio does that I don't believe was in the previous games is at the end of every chapter, your character and Ayumi review all of the evidence that they've collected. And that will involve you occasionally like typing in the names of things or selecting them from your notebook, which like I think that happened a handful of times in the previous games.
Yeah, I think it did as well.
But like this, at the end of every chapter, it makes you do like 5 or 6 of them. And if you mess them up, you just get Ayumi will be like, no, I think it's actually more like this, and you like progress. So I don't like when you get it right, there is like a little chime.
Right.
So I don't know if the game is like secretly keeping track of like what I am remembering and how well I am reviewing the evidence and like all that kind of stuff. So I think it's possible that like I will be rewarded or I don't know.
I think it's possible.
Yeah.
I don't think the previous games did that.
Right.
The other thing I wanted to just call out is Nintendo published an Ask the Developer on this, and it just featured 2 people, which is very rare. It's like all 3 parts is just 2 people. It's Yoshio Sakamoto, the producer, and then his
and writer, right?
And writer,
yeah.
but his assistant producer, Kaori Miyachi, who was basically like his co-writer, his right hand person on it. And it's just the 2 of them answering these questions, and it's very charming because
I gotta watch that. I know you posted it earlier.
Yeah, it's just very charming because she came into the series like having not played these types of games before, and she worked on the remakes with Sakamoto, and Sakamoto gave her like all of these horror movies like Dario Argento like movies or whatever that she'd like never watched before, and she was like, they're not my thing, I don't like them at all, but I watched them dutifully because he wanted me to like understand where he was coming from, and they worked on together. They were talking about the development of it. The way they did it was everything was in a spreadsheet, the entire game. And so that's how they would like play through the game.
Oh, cool.
Is through the spreadsheet. And then she would have to go in and like figure out where something broke or anything like that. It also like, I don't know, it seems like they get along together very well. It's like I said, a very charming interview. And it also seems like if this series were to continue on in the future, even after Sakamoto retired or something, almost that she's being like teed up as that next generation of
Yeah,
the
I mean, hey,
Famicom
we always
Detective
do.
Club. Yeah. So it's a great read. There's 3 parts. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to you getting deeper into the game, Mark. I'm on chapter 8 right now, so I've been putting in like a lot of time, and it's interesting to hear that like, because there are some like sort of horror elements to the game. It's obviously M-rated, but I don't think it's really like it's not scary. Like there are some points that are like very dramatic and where you're like, oh no, and especially as you're like uncovering more information about what happened in the past, that like. That is very, very intense, but seldom scary. I'm surprised as I go into the game how, because the whole thing is like centered around the murder of a junior high school student. And so like there's a lot of kids in danger. And at like some point around the middle of the game, lots of talk of like suicide. And so like the game gets like very dark, but I wouldn't say really scary necessarily.
Yeah.
But I'm loving this. I mean, so far it is my favorite of the 3. You're right that everything is like more expressive and like it's cool to see them like moving around a little bit more. I think they're like fully 3D like character models, right? That are like moving around.
I don't.
It's not exactly clear what's happening.
So I mean I don't know.
Yeah.
But it definitely looks improved.
Yeah.
And I thought the remakes looked good.
I thought the remakes looked good too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm loving it, and I think I'll probably finish it by the end of the week at this rate. And I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Then-
I'm hoping to be able to put more time into
Yeah.
it this week. Also, the collector's edition that I ordered from Japan has cleared customs at LAX.
Whoa!
But has yet to be delivered to me.
Should we go down there right now?
I know, yeah.
Wouldn't take us that long. We could be back before the show's over.
Yeah, that's
I don't
right.
know what that means. Who would do the show? And then just kind of beyond that, of course, we both finished up our playthroughs of Elite Beat Agents this week. Check out the episode if you are interested in hearing more about that. I think we both had fun.
For sure.
We both had fun. I also started playing Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot
talk to
Camp.
me about this.
Okay,
What,
right.
Just like what was the impetus? What brought this back into your life?
My buddy Taylor was like, "Hey, did you play Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp?" He was looking for a strategy game to play on Switch. Has been playing a lot of Into the Breach. And wanted to know if that was a good buy, and I was like, I bought it, but like I had not even turned it on. And then it was like, but the game also goes on sale, so like wait for it to go on sale. We've seen it routinely like drop down to like 42 or something like that. It is currently a full price game, so I was like, I should turn this on and actually play with it. And so I just played like a little bit into the Advance Wars 1. It makes you do 1 and then 2. I don't know if at some point, a little bit into the scenario, it'll unlock 2 or what. But yeah, it's it's Advance Wars. It's fun. And the animation is beautiful. Like I really think the way that they render these like the cartoony characters in the cutscenes and sort of just like hanging out on screen as you're moving the characters around, that like they'll pop up there and like talk to you, or they are you, is like very fun and compelling in a lot of the same ways that I feel like the presentation of Famicom Detective Club is very just like appealing and like, man, but both I wanted to bring this up about Emio as well. But just the UI in these games is so like clear and like graphically pleasing, and I mean, there's the user experience in I'll go back to Emio here because that's what I've been doing more. But it's amazing how just like smooth and natural it feels to navigate what is kind of an obtuse game system, right? Like those menus look good, they feel good. And like there are little icons next to all of the actions, and like everything happens in a pretty snappy way.
And one of the things I like that I don't remember in the remakes is at the bottom left they like breadcrumb a little bit, like what actions you took to get the response that you're getting right now.
Yeah,
which it'll just be like it'll say look and then bookshelf,
right,
So that, I don't know, just like little
or
things like that,
ask.
I think are really
and then a character name.
well thought out.
Yeah. And Advance Wars, while not on, I don't think like the same level, is also just the menu system is very cleanly presented and is just very like nice and good. I don't know. It seems like a weird thing to point out, but for both of those style games, you can get hung up on navigating menus, and you're doing it the whole time. It may as well be a pleasurable experience.
Were you finding yourself getting into it, or was it just kind of like an interesting diversion? Not really sure that you'll, spend a lot of time.
Probably more an interesting diversion, especially as who knows? There may be some time between when I finish Emio and when Zelda comes out that I may play a little bit more. But yeah, I also know that there's like a point in Advance Wars where it gets complicated enough that I can't really wrap my head around it anymore. Or at least that has been my experience of the GBA games, which these are. So I'll probably hit that and like try a level, and when like on the second time I restart it, when I get killed, I'll be like, forget it, I don't like these games, and take my ball and go home. All right, Mark, let's get into the new releases. That's what we've been playing this week. First of all, that's the setup. And the punchline is, let's get into the new releases and what we might be playing next week. I shouldn't have done that. I wasn't ready for the
music. Today, Tuesday, September 3rd, Bakaru is released on Switch. So this is the Good Feel developed game that was kind of like surprised localized for outside of Japan.
Yes, this is a game that's sort of in the mold of the 3D Goemon games. So like sort of an action adventure platformer kind of deal.
And when we had talked about this a few weeks ago when it was announced and there was like a demo and stuff, I think I said that it was being published by NIS America, but that's not right. It's Spike Chunsoft. So I guess we did have a debug this week, but it was from an episode a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
This does look very appealing and like a lot of fun, but
you've been bitten by Good Feel before.
I have.
Right, yeah.
I just don't glom with their games really for whatever reason, but it does look very appealing.
There are obviously already reviews and stuff for this, so maybe we can check those out at some point.
And then on Thursday, the Off the Hook Side Order Amiibo set is released,
and the Squid Sisters Alterna set.
Oh yes.
So these are the alternate outfits of the idols from Splatoons 1 and 2.
Right, and this is all coming a week ahead of the Grand Festival kicking off,
yes,
which is like the grand finale for Splatoon 3,
which is also launching alongside version 9.0.0 of the game, which is presumably like the final big update for Splatoon 3. Mark, are you anticipating participating in the Grand Festival or not? I know that you have been playing.
I don't know.
Had been playing a little bit of Side Order.
Yeah, that's right. I haven't jumped back into Side Order since last week, but I don't know. I really haven't participated in Turf War in Splatoon 3 very much. I got pretty into it in Splatoon 2, but really lost any ability to be any good at it in Splatoon 3. But maybe I'll take. I want to see, now that I have Side Order, now that I have the DLC, I want to see what like Splatsville looks like, because I haven't explored that at all in the game. And seeing the different decorations they have up for the Grand Festival will probably be cool. And then I'll probably get sucked into some Salmon Run,
which is your want. You love Salmon Run.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How about you?
I don't know. So I have these Amiibo pre-ordered because I have all of the other Splatoon Amiibo. So why would I stop here? I'm looking forward to getting them, but maybe not actually playing the game.
Yeah. And then on Friday, September 6th, Ace Attorney Investigations Collection is released. And I already have that pre-ordered.
Do you really?
Yeah, I mean, it'll be another one of those that, like, will I ever play it? I don't know, but I will definitely own it. And then it's not this week, but next week, Miles Edgeworth, the like prosecutor character from the Ace Attorney series, his cosmetic is being added to Among Us of all games.
Okay.
On September 9th. But I love this. I am glad that the gospel of Ace Attorney and Miles Edgeworth is being spread throughout the land. And if it gets anybody interested in the series, all the better for it. But it's a very funny, because it looks like the Among Us, character,
Mm-hmm.
but it has, like the little like shirt ruffle and everything that Miles Edgeworth does. It's pretty good.
That's exciting. What a a banner week or two for the specific types of games you like.
It's true. I mean also, any hope that I was going to play Investigations Chronicle or Collection anytime soon, the fact that Emio came out just now, plus Zelda's coming out,
right.
It's not great timing for me personally, but
the thing is,
glad to add it to my collection.
I think you can probably knock Emio out in 8-9 hours.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
I'm not done with it yet, of course, but I don't think it's gonna. If it takes me more than 10, I'll be surprised.
I know, but then I have to play Dawn of Sorrow.
Then you got to play Dawn of Sorrow.
Yeah, I'm booked. I'm booked solid.
It's true. And then I just wanted to point out that NBA 2K25 coming out on Switch. The 2K NBA 2K games are still coming out on Switch.
Yeah, and just a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about that January Switch presentation, Take-Two was on there, and they have been consistent with the NBA 2K series. It's always hit Switch. It's always been feature parity. It's always been day one. It's pretty remarkable for third-party support on the system.
Pretty impressive. I am receiving a text right now from Sarah saying that Keto is back at our front door.
Oh, man. And that's before I've started leaving treats in places that you can't find.
Well,
shoving them into your air conditioner.
Right, which and I think I'll smell that. I think I'll know that it's there.
Okay, good point.
She's saying that our next door neighbors left some deli meat outside for him. So
okay, all right.
They're already
doing
it. They're already doing it.
Ask her to send a picture.
I did. She said that she couldn't because the cat ran away.
Okay.
But he'll be back. All right. So that's those are the new releases.
And a keto update.
What's that?
And a keto
update. We got both. Let's close out the segment. Which brings us to a regular segment on our show. It is time for 433. In 1952, American composer John Cage wrote a piece called 433, where a performer or group of performers didn't play their instruments for 4 minutes and 33 seconds. For the purposes of this show, our instruments are talking about Nintendo. So, for the duration of one performance, 433, Mark and I'll talk about something not at all Nintendo related, thus fulfilling the contract of the piece. I'm going to turn the volume down on this video because it's noisy. But, Mark?
Yeah, fall is knocking on the door. And so we are going to take an online quiz.
It's going to be 104 degrees in Los Angeles on Thursday.
Uh-huh.
But sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's knocking. We're not answering yet. LA's not answering.
Sure.
But it is knocking. But so we're going to take an online quiz to figure out what our fall aesthetic is collectively.
Okay, great.
Okay. So first we'll start by picking
whose quiz is this?
Oh, sorry. This is a BuzzFeed quiz from the heady days of
Mm-hmm.
August 2022. We're going to pick our Starbucks order: black spice coffee, pumpkin spice latte, apple crisp macchiato, pumpkin spice creme frappe, apple cider, or pumpkin creme cold brew. You have to choose one.
I have to choose one, so I guess I'm going to do the black spiced.
Okay.
The very first one.
Uh-huh. Pick your favorite fall activity.
Okay, here we
watching
go.
scary movies,
Mm-hmm.
going to a pumpkin patch, apple picking, reading a book by a fall candle. Fall candles only need apply. Going to a haunted house, or raking up leaves.
Okay, so I like apple picking, but where do you go on this?
I like apple picking,
Fine, you like it okay.
Yeah, I mean,
you like something else better.
No. I actually looking at these raking up leaves. No, thank you.
Why would chores be on here?
Yeah, apple picking.
My favorite summer activity is mowing the lawn.
What's your favorite fall movie?
Okay.
And okay. The Addams Family, Ghostbusters, Hocus Pocus, It, Halloween Town, or anything Hallmark.
Geez. I guess the Addams Family?
Yeah, let's go with that one. That's good.
Was anything Hallmark?
Yeah, like a Hallmark fall movie.
I think of those as I think of Hallmark as the home of Christmas movies.
I mean, they for sure have a their flag planted on Christmas.
Right.
But they're covering
But
all the other holidays
Netflix
too.
is encroaching on that though. So
What's your favorite Thanksgiving food? We're already thinking about Thanksgiving.
okay.
It's 104. Do you love mashed potatoes? Do you love roasted squash? Do you love cranberry sauce, apple pie, stuffing, or turkey?
Well, I can't say turkey.
Mm-hmm.
I guess mashed potatoes.
I mean, you could, but you'd be
I'm not going
traitor to vegetarians.
That's right. Also, it just wouldn't be honest. Is mostly why I don't really care about being a traitor to the vegetarians. We don't have meetings. I would say mashed potatoes. What do you think, Mark?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
I mean, if you think it should be turkey, it should be turkey.
No.
Okay.
No, it shouldn't be turkey.
You know what it
I had my eyes on apple pie.
Right. Should not be cranberries.
I like cranberry sauce. I'm not going to lie to you.
Okay.
Stuffing can get out of here, though.
That's just do mashed potatoes. Let's move on to the next one.
Pick your favorite fall scent. Pumpkin spice.
Okay.
Cinnamon. Apple orchard. Crisp fall breeze. Okay. Warm vanilla. Spiced chai.
I mean, I think spiced chai is probably
that's where I'm going to.
I don't think of that as a fall scent, but I think that's like
crisp fall breeze seems like cheating, but dark. Our fall aesthetic is dark because we're a bit of a mysterious and independent person collectively. We also enjoy staying inside to watch the leaves fall.
That is
true.
And
we prefer other seasons, but this one's okay too. Which, that one nailed us dead to rights.
Yeah. We enjoy this one okay too. What's your favorite season, Mark?
Spring?
Fall for me, I guess. Okay. We were accompanied today by multiple ensembles in a video directed and edited by Sam Vladimirsky. Mark, we should get into the news. The 433 was just so noisy, I had to turn it way down.
Hey, you don't have to explain yourself to me.
I'm explaining myself to the listener.
NDCube, the studio responsible for the development of the Mario Party series after they took the reins over from Hudson Soft.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the Wii Play series, the Wii Party series, Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival, Clubhouse Games 51 Worldwide Classics, and Everybody 1-2 Switch. But maybe most notably, the forthcoming Super Mario Party Jamboree has changed their name to Nintendo Cube.
Yeah, so this is information that you and I sort of stumbled on recently, that the Mario Party games, originally developed by Hudson Soft, then NDCube included a lot of people who had worked on those games previously for Hudson, and that they have been like the kings of the Mario Party series since the beginning. And now this company, which was called NDCube for the longest time, now is just called Nintendo Cube. Not to be confused with GameCube.
Yes.
Nintendo GameCube.
That's right.
This makes it an SEO nightmare. I was looking for the logo for Nintendo Cube because it is, it's just a blue box that says Nintendo Cube in it.
But it's also the same font as Nintendo's 1-Up or Mario Club and 1-Up Studio or whatever it's called.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yes, it's the same font and the same treatment, except the background colors are green and red.
Yes.
And now Nintendo Cube is blue.
So Nintendo Cube, NDCube gone. Now just remember Nintendo Cube and know that that's different from GameCube.
But a little history. NDCube was originally a joint venture between Nintendo and the advertising firm Dentsu, hence the N and D in the name. Mm-hmm. Nintendo held 78% of the shares at the company's forming in the year 2000 and bought out Dentsu's share in 2010. And in the year since, it had kind of, we don't know exactly how it all happened, but now Nintendo owns 99% of the shares in the company.
Yeah, and at that point, we're like, I think we're comfortable changing the name.
Yeah, to
get that
Nintendo
D out of there, except for the D that's in Nintendo, of course.
But I guess I wonder if does this technically make them
a first party
developer, or?
I mean, I would maybe.
I guess so.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Also, Nintendo revealed another video for The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom, showing off some new gameplay features, and the depths of this game continue to surprise me. I feel
I
like we've
love
seen everything,
this. Yes.
and then they just continue to reveal more. Probably the big reveal in my mind is that we now know what is happening in those rifts.
Yeah.
It's a space called the Still World. It's
so the Zelda games are especially like the two. Well, I don't know, Zelda games for a long time, although not recently in like tiers. And
although I guess you could argue the
the
depths
depths
is
kind of achieve
like
this,
a dark
yeah.
world type
Yeah,
thing.
but just like having another world like just like beyond the veil, that is like a parallel world. That's a very Link to the Past, a very Link Between Worlds, and even like you can extend to like Twilight Princess, right, with the Twilight Realm. And this game has some of that, but it seems crazier than the other ones.
Yeah, it does seem crazier. We saw Lionels. Lionels are going to be in the game.
Cool.
It seems like each their dungeons, dungeons are confirmed
Yep.
to be back with boss battles, as you remember Zelda boss battles being.
And these dungeons, it seems like they're exclusive to the Still World.
That is what it seems like.
Yeah, at least that's what the video led us to believe.
And then they also talk about like each of the, even though they all take place in the Still World, each one is different.
Yeah.
And again, that kind of harkens back to those classic Zelda dungeons. And then the other big reveal is...
Well, and just to quickly touch on like what the Still World is, it looks as though like pieces of the world, like the normal Hyrule, were just like ripped apart and like are just sort of like floating in space. So there are parts where like trees are like tilted on their side, and like it almost looks like Zelda's getting around in a very like Mario Galaxy kind of way. And they showed her like using echoes of like crates and beds to like bridge the gap between these
from like chunk.
Yeah, exactly.
They also showed off Swordfighter form.
This is so cool.
Which was it was cool. One of the, I guess, feedback concerns that or immediate reactions people had when Echoes of Wisdom was revealed is that the new combat with Echoes is cool, but it would also be cool if Zelda could wield the sword, and we are in fact getting that. But what I love is that with Link, when Link's the hero, the sword is the default, and then he has a lot of times like some sort of magic ability or something that takes that is like a secondary power, and there's a meter,
right?
Like a magic meter or something. With Zelda as the protagonist, because she is a magic wielder, the default is magic. And then the kind of like the form that uses mana, or the ability that uses mana, is the sword fighter ability,
which is very cool. And that's not the meter doesn't just like fill back up. You have to collect whatever the enemies drop that refills it.
And it also looks like the meter has levels, and so it's possible that you can extend it or level it up in some way to make it maybe more powerful, or just be able to use it for longer. That looks really fun. Also, our dear friend Dampy is back.
Oh, Dampy. Dampy, one time a gravekeeper, another time a like custom dungeon. He just like he keeps them and like lets you build them in the Link's Awakening remake.
Yep. He's back, but this time has been promoted to inventor, who provides Zelda with automatons that have more abilities than mere Echoes possess.
Cool. I can't wait to like figure out what these automatons do. Love spending time with Dampy.
We also know that we also saw a little bit that the red guy,
right,
with
the paraglider guy, yep,
is has something to do with stamps. There's like stamps involved.
Great. And this is not Rhubarry, we decided.
Yeah, this is not Rhubarry. I'm really looking forward to this game, and we're only a few weeks away now.
Another thing that like the video impressed on me in a way that I hadn't really calculated up to this point is that it sure sounds like the game is keeping a lot of the same sonic landscape as the Link's Awakening remake. That very like clear orchestration of just a handful of instruments. Everything is just like crystal clear and a little bit quirky, and just like a great like I don't know. I love the aesthetic of that game. And I love the aesthetic of this game so far. Saw a lot of impressions. Well, I guess we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, I'm very excited for this.
Yeah, and talking about the Sonic landscape, it's funny in that trailer to me to hear like Zelda's version of "Hiya!" or like the Link grunts.
Yeah.
Coming
out of Zelda.
And then talking about the music, I will be interested to hear, and maybe there's some impressions of it already out there. It's like, what is the overworld theme? Does it borrow from Link's Awakening? Does it borrow
because that's
from
a very specific like Koholint Island
does
theme.
It borrow from the Zelda series in general? Like,
or does Zelda herself have like her own set of like? Is it maybe more leading with like the like Zelda family theme from like Ocarina of Time? Like we don't know these things yet. I'm very excited to find out.
But Echoes of Wisdom was at PAX West over the weekend, and impressions from people who have been able to play the demo, everything seemed pretty positive.
Everyone seems positive. I saw a lot of people being like in my 15 minutes with it, 10 minutes with it, had no noticeable frame drops or like slowdown, which was an issue in Link's Awakening. That game can get really framey really fast. Seems like it's not happening here.
But and I guess I'm not totally surprised that they fixed it, because even though this is taking the aesthetics of Link's Awakening, the world and like what you're able to do is so much
more
bigger than that game. That game, it's so grid driven because it's a remake of the Game Boy game that I wonder if it's a completely different engine, or it just seems like it's not. If they are building off of Link's Awakening, it would be the very, very basics.
Right. Or just aesthetically, like just using the graphics for it. Yeah.
An interesting piece of information that came out of the demo is that it appears that the game has 2 difficulty settings, including a hero mode, which is kind of like the classic Zelda series hard mode, except at least in the demo, it's available from the beginning, and you can switch between it anytime during your gameplay.
So I think in like the modern Zelda games that hero mode is either not available right from the get-go, that you had to like select it on like your second play, and then you're like locked into it.
Right.
Yeah.
And in Tears of the Kingdom, it doesn't have one, but in Breath of the Wild, Master Mode was part of the DLC, and you were like locked into it.
Sure. But Master Mode is also like the way it scaled the difficulty was different. Like Hero Mode in general, where you take double damage and where enemies don't drop hearts. Enemies already don't drop hearts in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. But that's sort of like a standard way for you to get your health back in these other games. And it you can't do that in hero mode in Echoes of Wisdom. But I remember that also from like the Wind Waker remake and Twilight Princess remake. I believe Link Between Worlds had that as well. So it's cool to see that mode come back, and maybe even cooler to have it be a thing that you can toggle on and off if you're like, oh no, this has gotten too hard.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if that's just a feature of the demo, or if it is part of the full game, or it becomes like unlockable after you beat it for the first time or something like that. Also, an interesting note in hero mode in Echoes of Wisdom, some accessory effects won't apply. So in Echoes of Wisdom, you can dress Zelda up in different outfits, and some of them have like buffs, but some of those effects won't apply here, which is interesting.
Okay, so Sarah sent me a video of Quito.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I should play that now, right?
No, but I do think everyone will be thrilled to know.
Okay, great. I'm getting updates about the cat.
that Quito. Live Quito updates.
Yep.
Star Fox character designer Takeya Imamura recently gave an interview with The Game where he hinted that Shigeru Miyamoto has, quote, strong feelings for the series, and that he thinks Star Fox games will make a return at some point.
I love this kind of thing where it's just like someone be like, oh yeah, I don't know, we still talk about it, I don't know. He loves it.
Yeah, I mean, of course he doesn't like make any specific predictions about when or what or anything like that, or even hint that a game is in development. But I think by saying that Shigeru Miyamoto loves the Star Fox, so maybe I'm speaking too strongly. He at least has strong feelings.
Yes.
Whether they good or bad.
Oh yeah, I guess that's
Hammer is not
right.
Letting on. But presumably, if they're good, strong feelings,
Right.
that yeah, why would the Star Fox franchise be dead forever?
I mean, because it had like a disastrous 16 months wherein Star Fox 2, Star Fox 0, and Star Fox Guard all came out and bombed. I mean,
they really tried. They really tried.
They really tried.
They gave Star Fox a good opportunity, and collectively the world was like, "No, thanks.
No, I don't think.
I don't need that.
I don't really need this.
No.
Yeah.
But I do think Star Fox will be back in some form someday.
Me too. And when it comes back, I want them to just like do like the basic formula, but just like new planets, new villain, new scenarios, multiple paths, secrets.
Well, I wonder not that we're going to get a Star Fox 99, but I wonder if F-Zero 99 is
like a test case for that,
or a way into, maybe not a way into, a illustration of Nintendo's thinking, which we've heard multiple times, that Nintendo doesn't just make a sequel for making a sequel's sake. Like they try to find a gameplay hook or something that makes it unique and different, and then that's becomes the like crux of the game. And they're like, oh, this actually would be cool to do with Star Fox. Let's make this a Star Fox game. And it's been so long since we've seen an F-Zero, like a new F-Zero game, until F-Zero 99, which is a twist on the formula. And it's like, okay, well, they tried with the Wii U gamepad.
Right.
It didn't work, or people didn't want it. But what is the way into the next Star Fox game?
Yeah. And I mean, I think that's it, is like you have to figure out what the angle is. And I mean, for my money, Star Fox, especially the original, and 64 does this as well, is such a fun, like, arcadey experience that I feel like you just gotta lean into that. And I don't know if that's like offering different like arcadey takes on the Star Fox formula, or like making that literal in some way where you're exploring like a physical arcade space that has like different flight simulators and like shmups and stuff that are all like in Star Fox. Or what, like we can fantasize about what a Star Fox game could be. But I think like recognizing that what's good about those games is that like moment to moment snappy gameplay and an experience that lasts for like, I don't know, 2.5 minutes, like a pop song, right? Like it should be a series of spacey music videos that you're shooting your way through. And that's what's most fun about Star Fox.
Yeah. We might have mentioned this last week in our discussion about the Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase.
But who knows? Look, when we mess with the schedule at all, it feels like it's so long between our recordings. We recorded last week, Tuesday. That's right. So long ago.
Oh, that's right. Wow. Well, and too bad there's no like record of what we say or anything like that. But whether we mention this or not, we're going to mention it here. The Switch release of Yakuza Kiwami has been confirmed by Sega to be digital only, and it's only going to be $20.
No physical release of Yakuza Kiwami.
Nintendo of Europe has a new president. Luciano Pereira replaces Stefan Bull, who is retiring after over 35 years with Nintendo.
I'm not super plugged into the corporate structure of Nintendo of Europe.
Yeah, I am not either. I do know that Nintendo of Europe recently reorganized to put like all of its individual divisions now under one entity.
Yes,
which is like Nintendo of Europe SE. But it is interesting that I don't know if the president of Nintendo of Europe ever had the same sort of presence in presentations that like Reggie Fils-Aimé did,
right,
in directs and Nintendo.
Or even that like Doug Bowser had for a little bit. He's seemed to kind of step away from,
and it seems like Nintendo in general has, they do have a few regular faces that show up in Nintendo Directs, but for the most part, it's become very anonymous, right? It doesn't have the same.
Yeah.
It's not like Iwata's not there. Miyamoto shows up occasionally,
Right.
But Doug Bowser, other than I think the Nintendo Direct where he was introduced, I don't know that he's shown up since then.
That's a good point. I think we've seen him a little bit since then, but like you're right. By and large, we don't see him very much. I would guess that we do see Doug Bowser when Nintendo reveals the Switch 2.
I don't know that we will. I mean, because we did that January.
We'll see Koizumi though, right?
We'll see Koizumi.
He's got to lounge on the couch and show us how the new Joy-Cons work. Yeah,
we'll see Koizumi. I think we'll especially see Koizumi because he seems to be the Mario ambassador.
Yeah,
now.
That's a great point.
So, and if there is indeed a 3D Mario game attached with the launch,
right,
I think he's going to be there for sure. But yeah, like we don't even see. Like, do you remember the indie or Nindy showcases as they were originally branded?
Yes.
Like they had a face for a while at the beginning, and but yeah, Nintendo's marketing has just moved
now.
Away
She
from
says
all
two
of that.
voices that I just don't want to hear anymore.
And the Direct guy.
Yeah, and the Direct guy. Yeah.
But to our European listeners, let us know. Has the president of Nintendo of Europe ever really had a presence in the Directs or anything? I guess maybe. Now I'm trying to remember that January 2017 Nintendo Switch presentation.
Yes.
I just watched it a few weeks ago. They did throw to Reggie
and Miyamoto,
but did they throw
in
to
New York with Aonuma?
Oh, you're right, and that was it. They didn't also toss to the Nintendo of Europe guy, did they?
I mean, not in the version not the American version, right? So like. It's possible that because that was also a pre-recorded video too.
That's true. Do you think Miyamoto and Aonuma flew to like Barcelona and did like the same thing there?
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, European listeners, let us know.
Yeah, and let us know if you want to see Luciano Pereira show up in future videos.
That's right. Finally. Look, we were razzing level 5.
We love to
a
razz.
couple of weeks ago because Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time, was supposed to originally release in October. And then they were like, just kidding, it's not, but we'll have more to share at this level 5 Vision 2024. At the time, we didn't have a date for it.
Right. And in fact, we had blown past like the original stated date of April was when it was supposed to come out as announced in November of last year. I mean, hilarious for them to be like delaying a presentation too by months and months and months.
Yeah.
But we've got a date now.
That's right. It's September 24th at 9 p.m. Japan time, which will be, we think, 5 a.m. Pacific time.
I checked one time zone converter.
Well, they've got to, I mean, you would, unless you happen to stumble upon the one that was wrong.
Right. Or I messed it up somehow. I'm just saying what the result I got was 5 a.m. on September 24th.
Well, I believe it fully.
Great.
Then this will be level 5's big presentation. Presumably we'll get updates on Fantasy Life I, on that Inazuma 11 Victory Road game. Deca Police, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
There's a new Professor Layton game out there in the world
Professor Layton
somewhere.
and the New World of Steam.
It's a good name.
Come on, great name. The like their press release or whatever about this said that we are going to be getting a release date for Inazuma 11 Victory Road, and then there's also a new game announcement planned for the event. Level 5. Put out a game, and then we'll talk.
Yeah. But something to, I was gonna say look forward to, but something to look at the headlines when I wake up that morning.
Nope, Mark, I think we're going to live stream our reactions to it 5 o'clock in the morning. We've never done that before. What if we did? What if this is
that
the
was
first
the
one?
Yeah, this was the tipping point.
All right, Mark, let's get out of the news. That is going to do it for this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society. Remember, if you're not in that Discord, get in that Discord. What are you doing? You could be chatting with people right there. You could be joining up on Pikmin Bloom walks.
Oh, yeah. There's lots going on in the Discord.
Anthony DeLuca made our logo. Our theme music is provided by 8-Bit Betty. You can get more of his music by going to 8bitbetty.com or by listening right now. For my co-host, Mark Mitchell, this is Patrick Ellers, saying thank you for listening.